day 3 worksheet, and so we are discussing about sales calculator. So we are trying to process this with the help of macro. So first, you just listen to me. Okay, you don't have to do anything over here. And then once I explain you what I'm going to do, and then we'll go and start with the macros. Okay, so here we have four items to be found out, and then we have a small table over here. Okay, it's a kind of a sales template. Now, say for example, I have a sales organization and I have some 5 sales executives, and then I need to have a data table every day, every week, or every month, and I need to keep on tracking their performance based on 4 parameters. One is total sales, second is average sales, third is who is topping in each and every product line, and who is trailing in each and every product line. So these are some of the key performance indicators that I would require as a manager to take control of the sales management. So with that assumption in mind, so we are trying to do some calculations. So I'll tell you what are the calculations I'm going to do without macros first, and then when I ask you to do it, at the time we start doing it. When we do it, we'll directly do it with the macros. Okay. So I'm going to tell you what am I going to do now. So in the first cell, we need to calculate total sales. So what we're going to do is we have 3 product categories. So we are going to record 3 different macros, computing the calculations. We are going to calculate 4 things. So 4 calculations for 3 product lines. Okay. So in one macro, I'm going to record 4 operations. For the second macro, I'm going to record another 4 operations. For the third macro, I'm going to record another 4 operations. Now all these macros are going to be assigned to 3 buttons, and whenever I click the button, the calculations should change. So whenever I want to monitor, say on an hourly basis or at end of the day every day, or once in a week, or once in a month, or once in 50 days, maybe whenever I click on products, the 3 buttons, and the calculations accordingly should change. This particular data sheet is going to be updated on every hourly basis. As my sales executives do the sales, these numbers are going to get updated. So to track their performance, I'm going to do some calculations, and I'm going to have these key performance indicators. Now, instead of me doing the calculation every time, I'm going to record the calculation in a macro and assign it to the buttons. Whenever I click on the command button, automatically I get to know my key performance indicators, and I can monitor and control my sales people. Okay, so that is the idea. So first, you don't have to do this. You just please observe. If you do it, also no problem. But what we are going to do is we are going to do it in a macro. Okay, so first I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. So for finding out total sales, so I'm going to take first product 1. So I'm going to take product 1, and I'm going to execute all the 4 operations first. Okay, so how we are going to do is, in product 1, I need to find total sales. These are number of units of sales. Okay, in product 1, Sachin has done 100, Dravid has done 99, Dhoni has done 50. So total sales is total of all these 5 sales figures. So how do you do that? We need to insert a function called a sum. Okay, so we use the sum function, open bracket, and I need to select this entire range of cells. Okay, I have 5 items, I select the entire 5 range of cells from B2 to B6, and then close the bracket and I press enter. So this is my first operation, sum operation. So I get the total sales over here. Second one is I need to find the average sales per employee. Okay, average sales per employee, how do you find? For that, we need the formula equal to average. Average, bracket, and then all these 5 sales figures needs to be averaged out. So again, I select the same cell array, B2 to B6, close the bracket, press enter. I get average sales per employee. Okay. So why do you need this figure? Total figure, I have a team target I need to track. Averages, I need to find out what is the average level and who is training. Okay. So now Vijay, Saurav, and Dhoni are below average, whereas Sachin and Dravid are above average. For that reason, I need to calculate average sales player. I need to find out who is the topper. Okay. So topper, I need the name there. Okay. Suppose if I ask you the product 1, this is the product 1. So who is the topper? How will you find out? We will not go and work in this column 1. We'll go and work in the column 2. In the column 2, we have the sales values. So we'll find among these 5 entries who is having the highest sales. So here 100 is the highest sales, and the corresponding mean we will pick it up and we need to display it here. That's what we need to do. So in this column B, where we have the product one sales, we need to go and find out who has the highest sales. Okay, in this case it is 100. For 100, what is the name corresponding to this 100? That name should be picked and displayed here. For which we need to use a function called as index. Okay, which we already learned. Okay, so index, how it works? Index needs 3 inputs. One is the table array. Second, we need to give the row number and the column number for the third input. Okay, so the index function will look like this. Suppose if I use the index function directly, index, I need to give the entire table, okay, from Sachin to 86, and then I need to give it is the first row, comma, I need to get the name, which is the first column. The sales executive names are in the first column. So I need to give the row number, and I should also give the column number. So when you give this, it will get me Sachin. Okay, when you give this, it should get me Sachin. Okay, it should get me Sachin. But we are not going to do like this. Okay, we want the computer to check and let us the value. Okay, so how do you do that? Is the table array remains the same. So equal to index, the table array would remain the same, which is the first input for the index statement. For the index statement or index function, the first input is the table array that is given. What is the second input? We should give the row in which there is a highest value of sales. Okay, so we need to give the row number. Okay, in this case it is going to be 1. 1 is the first row. Okay, the first row, that 1 should come over there. Okay, to find that we are going to use, so first what we need to do, we need to find who among these 5 numbers which is the highest value, for which we are going to use a function called as max. Okay, we are going to use a function called as max. Max stands for maximum. So I need to enter the function max, and I need to give the range of cells. Among this range of cells, in this range of cell, which is the highest value. To get this, we use the max function. Once I give the max function and enter, it will give the highest value, which is 100. Okay, it will give me the highest value, which is 100. But I don't want this 100. I want the position of this 100. Okay, in this range of cell, in which row 100 is present, whether it is the first row or second row or third row, in which row this 100 is present. I want that position. To get the position, which function should we use? We should use the match function. To get the position of the value 100, we need to use the match function. How do you use the match function? We'll take equal to match. Okay, we'll take equal to match. Okay, in this case, we need to use the maximum. Okay, maximum value, which is this value. We have already found out 100. Okay, so that value, and then in which array we need to check for 100's position in this array. We need to search where is 100 in this particular array, and then the last input in match function is always 0. Now when I give OK, match function will tell me the position of 100 among this list. Where is 100? 100 is in the first row. When I give enter, 1 will come. We need this 1 in the index function as the input. We need this 1 as a input to the second input to the index function. Okay, that's what we are going to do it as a single function. We are going to combine everything as a single formula. Okay, it's going to be a complicated one. Yes, macro is by default is a feature which will bring convenience to our operation. Every time I need not design this formula. Once I design it, I put it in the macro. Every time I need not give the formula. I can use the macro to use it any number of times. Okay, so this is a complex formula. So I need to bring the max function inside match function. Okay, I need to bring match function inside index function. Okay, so it's a 3 level of formulas over there. Max inside match, match inside index. Okay, so we are going to bring everything together. Now the output of the match function, which is 1, will go as the second input to index function. Where here? So we said equal to index, the table array, which was 8 goes to D6. Okay, comma, I said 1 comma 1. What is 1? 1 is the row position. What is this one? That is the column position. In which column sales executive names are there? Sales executive names are there in the first column. So we are giving the column as 1. So what Excel will do, it will go to this table, find out the position of 100, which is in the first row. Corresponding to 100, what is the value in the first column. So that value is being displayed. So we are giving the second input through the match function. Okay, the third input is just the column number. Okay, in which column we need to fetch the corresponding name. So the column number here is 1. In the first column, the sales executive names are there. So for the index function, the third input is going to be 1. That's it. And same as that, here we are going to find out who's trailing at the back. Okay, the topper is Sachin, they got it. Who is trailing? How will you find? In this list, we'll go to the product 1 sales list. We'll find out who is doing the least sales. Okay, so easily you can find out 56 is the least number. And then what you will do, corresponding to 56, what is the name there? You will fetch that and you will display. For that reason, okay, we need to use the function called as min. Min stands for minimum. Okay, so min, this particular range of cell, it will give us what is the least value among these 5 numbers. Okay, so when I give this, the least value is 56. But we don't want 56 in the index function. We want the position of 56 in this particular list. Okay, in this particular list, we want the position of 56. So for that, what function will you use? Exactly, we should use the match function once again. In that case, we'll find out the position of 56. Now suppose if I use the match function over here, match, okay, this value 56, comma, in this particular range, comma, last input is always 0. What is the position? Third. So third row, now Excel should go to the column and fetch the corresponding value. Okay, so the third input for index function will be 1 again. So we go to the first column and fetch the name Dhoni and bring it to us. Okay, so we are going to combine min, max, and match everything together into an index function. So for topper, I will tell you how we are going to combine it into a single formula is, I'll start with the index function. The first input is the entire table array. I select the entire table, A2 to D6, comma. For the second input, I told you, we are not going to give the directly the position, we are going to use the match function. So we use the match function. For the match function, we need to give again 3 inputs. The first input is the highest value we need to give. To find the highest value, we are going to use the max function. Okay, max function, we need to give the range of cells. So I'm giving the range of cells. Close the bracket. After every input, we should give a comma. So I give a comma space. And in the match function, what is the second input? The array. The array is going to be this one, the second column, which is starting from 100 to 66. And second input, after the second input, you should give a comma, space. And third input for a match function is always going to be 0. And then now the match function is over. So we need to close the bracket. Now this entire match function is the second input for index function. So after the second input, we should put a comma, space, and then we need to give the third input for the index function. Third input for the index function is the column number in which our required value is residing. So in this case, we need the first column. So I am going to give the column number 1. In 1, we have the sales executive's name. So the moment I press OK, enter, okay, I get the value Sachin. This is what we are doing that day. Okay, so for the person who is trailing, the same process we are going to use, same index function, but instead of max, we are going to use min function. That is the only difference. That is the only difference because we need the least person. So we start with equal to index, open bracket. So we select the entire table from Sachin to 86, comma space, and then we use the match function, open bracket, 3 inputs to be given. So now we need to find the least value for which we use the function min, open bracket. So this is the cell array, comma, after min function is over, we need to put it close with the bracket. Okay, and then comma, space, when we give the table array, it's going to be the same column, second column, comma, third input for match function is always 0. Min function is over, we should close it with the bracket. We should follow it up with the comma, space. The third input over here is the first column, so I give the first one, where you have the sales executive name. When I press enter, I get the name of the person who is doing the least sales. Okay, so this is for product 1 I have done. So similarly, I need to do it for product 2. Product 2, where will be the change to get it for product 2? Product 2, the sales are there in this column, C column. So this will change. Instead of B2 to C6, it will change to C2 to C6. Otherwise, everything will remain the same. C2 to C6. And then the range also will change. C2 to C6. Okay, so when I press OK, here the topper is Dhoni. The second product, the topper is Dhoni. Okay, so same thing I need to change. Only the column I need to change for the next product. So we are going to record this with help of macro. So 3 macros we need to record. So every time when you change the macros, we need to change only the cell ranges. Even for that matter, for total sales, we need to change the cell range. So we are not going to make changes to the formula. We will do the recording 3 times with 3 different, 4 operations separately. So that we'll have 3 macros, and then we can assign it to the buttons. Okay, so now you can do it with the macros. Don't worry if you're not getting the output. We don't have time to discuss each and every one over here. I'll show you how I'm going to do it. And later on, you can do it at your home and see. And if you have doubts, and then you can message me in WhatsApp. Okay. So I'm going to use macros, and I'm going to record it 3 times. Okay. So for macros, we should go to the developer tab. All these things already we discussed. Before you click on record macros, you should be in relative reference mode. So you click on use relative reference once, and then you click on record macros. And then for the name, I'm going to give it as product 1, PROD1, and I'm going to give OK. So we are in the record mode now. So from now on, it's going to be recorded. I'm going to start from the total sales equal to sum. Ensure that you don't press the delete button or the backspace. Do it correctly the first time. So sales of the first product, which is here, close the bracket, press enter. Average of the first product, same column, close the bracket, press enter. For topper, I'm going to use the index function, open bracket. First input is the table array, the entire table, comma space. Second input is and I'm going to use the match function, match, open bracket. Match function has 3 inputs. The first input I'm going to use the max function, open bracket. Table array is B2 to B6, close the bracket, comma space. Lookup array is the same column, which is second column, comma space. Third input for match function is always 0. Close the bracket, comma. Now the third input for the index function, in this case is the first column, I'm going to give the number 1. Close bracket, enter. Now for the trailing person, equal to, once again the same formula structure, index, open bracket, the entire table to be selected, comma, space. I'm going to use the match function for the second input, match, open bracket. I'm going to use the min function here to find out the least salesperson, min, open bracket, the same number of for the second column, the sales values, close the bracket, comma, space. Lookup array is the same second column. I select the entire column, comma, space. Third input for match function is always 0. Close bracket, comma, space. Third input for index function is the first column, so number 1. Close the bracket, press enter. I'm going to make this cell C8 as my active cell, C8 as my active cell, okay, which is the total sales. And now I'm going to go and stop the macro. I'm going to stop the macro. So now the macro is done. The first macro is done. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete all the 4 values. I'm going to check whether the macro is working properly. Okay. So I go to my macros, and then I'm going to execute it manually. So I'm getting the values. So it is perfectly working fine. So this is for product 1. So now I'm going to do the same thing for product 2. Okay, for product 2. So I'll show you only product 1 and 2. Product 3 is same as that. Okay, since we don't have time. So I'm going to do one more time. I'm going to record the macro. So record. So I'm going to name it as product 2. Okay. We are in record mode. Equal to sum. This time for product 2, the sales. Okay, the second column. Close the bracket. Enter. I'm going to do average. Open bracket. Second column. Close bracket. Enter. For topper, I'm going to use index. Open bracket. Same thing. The entire table is the first input. Comma space. Second input is the match function. Inside that, I'm going to use the max function. This time, I'm going to do it to the second column for the product 2. Close the bracket, comma, again the second column, comma, space, 0 is the default input. Close the bracket, comma, space. Even here, I want the name of the sales executives. So the third input is going to be number 1, close bracket, enter, perfect. Now for the training person, equal to index, open bracket. First input is the entire table array, comma, space. Second input, I'm going to use the match function, open bracket. Now to find the least value, I'm going to use the min function, open bracket. I'm going to select the entire second column, close the bracket, comma, space. The second input is the table column array, comma, space. The third input is 0, close bracket, comma, space. The third input for index function is numeric 1, the first column, close bracket, enter. I'm going to click on cell number C8 as my active cell, and then I'm just going to go and stop the recording. Okay. So now I've got 2 macros. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to check whether the second macro is working good. So the product 2, I'm getting the product 2 values correct. So I'm going to delete this. Now I am going to assign buttons. So to insert the buttons, we go to the control section in the same developer tab. Go to the insert option. I'm going to select the control button, command button there. I'm going to assign the product, the product 1 macro, and then I'm going to give OK. So here I'm going to name it as product 1, and I'm going to copy this and paste it. I'm going to keep it as product 2. I'm going to right click on the second button. I'm going to use the assign macros option. I'm going to assign product 2 to the second button. Okay, and the active cell C8. I'm going to click on product 1. I'm going to click on product 2. Okay, so if you have the product 3, you can have one more button. So as and when these numbers change, say for example now Dhoni improves to say 86, and then Vijay comes to say 94, Sachin stays in 101, and say Dravid goes to say 108, and here say for example Dhoni goes to 120, Dravid goes to say 112, and say for example Vijay goes to 60. Okay, so now when you click on product, you can see accordingly the values getting changed, product 1, product 2, right? So as and when you update the sales database, now your tracking will be very easy over here. You can see the sales average and the toppers and trailers. Now the beauty of this thing is, suppose for the next month I create a new sheet. Okay, I create a new sheet over here with similar templates. Okay, I create a new sheet for the next month. Okay, I create a new sheet. Okay, and I create the same templates over there in the next sheet. Okay, I may not re-enter the formula here. I can directly go and assign the macros, and then I will get the I can get the values there. Okay, I may not redo it. So here this is to be pasted here in the second column over here. So because we are using the relative reference, so we need to be careful with the relative reference. I left out the first row here. So we have the exact same reference. Now we can just go back and we can just run the macros here and to get the sales figures in the second sheet also. So every month, every week, we need not create new formulas. You can just go and call the macros there, and again here I can assign 2-3 buttons and I can run it. So this is clear.